Hi guys, it's Craig from MobileTechTalk, and today we are looking at the Motorola One Action. So this arrived on my desk yesterday, and you can see it's still ready to be unboxed. So let's get into it and see exactly what we get in this Motorola One Action phone. So it's very much a budget oriented device. Put that over there. We're looking at a 6.3 inch LCD display with a corner notch, as you can see. It's a 1080p display. It's actually quite heavy. Looks like it's actually got a case on. We'll pull that off in a minute. Yeah, it is actually quite heavy, but it's got a 3500 milliamp hour battery in there. It's got a triple camera setup, which you can see here. We'll go through that in a second. Just make sure that I've got it locked. Comes in 3 GB RAM and 32 gig storage and 4 gig, 64 gig storage. God, I'm having a problem getting this off here. Ugh. Configurations. It's got a Samsung Exynos 9609 processor, so it's an 8-core processor, but it's budget-oriented processor. And as you can see, it's got a Motorola logo emblazoned on the rear-facing fingerprint scanner. Let's just pull this off. So the triple camera setup that you can see on the back, let's just start having a quick look at that. So the triple camera setup there is, it has a 12 megapixel wide angle lens. I'm just making sure that you can actually see that. It has a wide angle lens with face detection, autofocus, a 16 megapixel ultra wide, which is great, and it has a dedicated 1080p video camera with that particular sensor, and then a 5 megapixel depth sensor here for probably added bokeh effect to kind of make your subject stand out and the background blurred. And then across on the front you have a 12 megapixel wide angle camera, and the video on the front is up to 1080p. So let's just boot this up, set it down. You'll see it's got the Android One, which means very stock Android experience, quick updates. We have a little bit of stuff everybody reads here. SIM ejector tool, EU charger, which, does it say it's a 2 amp charger? And what do you think, micro USB or type C? Let's have a look. And that's exactly what we should be getting on 2019 devices. It's a type C. So let's just put all that to one side, leave this here so people can see what it's got, even though I'm telling you. Okay, let's have a little bit of a look around the device then. So on the right hand side here we have a power button and a volume rocker. Up the top we have a pinhole microphone here and a 3.5mm headphone jack for those people who still use it, like myself, but I also use Bluetooth as well. On the left hand side you have your SIM ejector tool, your SIM ejector port and your SIM card slot. You've got a pinhole microphone down the bottom here, type C USB, but it's only USB 2 I believe, and a single speaker grill here. On the back, just give that a bit of a wipe. On the back you have the triple camera setup. You have the nice little Android One logo on the bottom here, which is what we like to see, nice stock Android experience. The flash and the rear fingerprint sensor with the Motorola logo. On the front you've got that 6.3 inch LCD display, so no AMOLED here, but it's an LCD display. It should still give you some quite nice viewing angles, which it is, and it's also going to be nice and bright. But this is very much a budget device, so we're just going to set this up, have a look around, and then have a look at the camera setup, and then get out of here. So we're back and we've set this up, and the stock wallpaper is, no, I'm not going to restart now. The stock wallpaper is actually really nice, exactly what I'd expect from Moto. You can go and do some of these Moto actions, so you've got the lovely twist to get the camera up. You've got lift to unlock, as it just said. Fast torch, so you can turn the torch or the flashlight on and off with karate chop motions. So you've got this sort of added value stuff that Motorola's been known for in its later G series lineup. And since they've kind of gone to Android One, this has kind of been carried through. Let's just have a quick look at the camera. We'll just move something into shot there. So I've taken a couple of shots with this, as you might be able to see. So the one thing I do notice is it's kind of oversaturating some of the shots that I've taken. Doesn't do reds particularly well, I've noticed, but the quality is there because of the megapixel count that you've got. So you've got some quality and you can crop in a little bit. The red on this particular pop here, as you can see, I like my pops, isn't actually too bad. It's actually dealt with it quite well, but there's not a lot of light in the room where I've taken it, so I think that's probably helped the sensor kind of dumb it down a little bit. But you can see here, like the vibrancy of some of these colours is probably not what you'd expect to see in real life, and I think that's actually kind of followed through with the actual display itself. So when I'm moving forward in and out of screens here, there does seem to be very much, I know that the theme kind of has something to do with this, but it does seem to be a bit of a green tint, a bluey tint, an off-white tint. So looking at the whites here, it's not particularly clean, it's like a dirty white. And I think that's some of the issue that you're going to get with this particular LCD display as opposed to an AMOLED. But for £220 for the grey version, I think the blue version is around about £270, just because it actually looks nicer. Budget devices have pretty much got everything anybody, the regular, normal individual person needs. It's got the ability to fly through apps, no problem at all. It's got the ability to take some great photos. It's got the ability to go on social media and browse and use the 4G LTE modem in there. It's got everything you might want. The only thing that would possibly kind of mark this down for me is the video quality on what I've taken so far, and you'll see some video samples go up on the channel soon. And during the full review, the video quality is not quite what it is. I've just kind of played around what it should be. I've just played around with it for the last couple of minutes, just taking a few videos of my pops. It's not great. And that's particularly what the Motorola One Action is supposed to be good for, the action camera in there. It can do full HD at 60 FPS, which is handy, and it can do 4K at 30 FPS as well. So for £220, I honestly don't think I'm going to find a hell of a lot to moan about during my review with this when I take into account that price point. It's not a flagship device. It's not a Huawei, it's not an iPhone, it isn't a flagship device. It's a budget Motorola One Action. And the benefits that you get with that are the additional added value software tweaks that Motorola include, and also quick updates. As you can see, I've actually got one here. So I'm going to restart that now, and yeah, stay tuned for more coverage of the Motorola One Action and other devices, and we'll catch you on the next one.